Jesus to the rescue. Why am I dressed up like this in a tuxedo? Does anybody have any ideas? Today we see Jesus at a very big party, at a very important event. Can anyone guess what kind of party it is? You just heard our students talk about it, right? It's a wedding. Jesus, his family, and his friends are all at a wedding. So in honor of the occasion, I am wearing the tuxedo I wore at my wedding, and I've worn it to other weddings as well when I'm an attendant at a friend that's getting married. I got married in the year 2000 at a church called Emmanuel, which is right next to Sen High School. Some of you guys know where that is. And we had a great time. We had a reception after the wedding, and we tried to make sure there was enough food and drink for everyone, because that's what you do when you throw a party, right? Has anybody ever been to a wedding? Or has anyone ever been part of throwing a party? Raise your hand if you've ever helped throw a party for someone or something. So what's one of the most important things you need to have at a party? Yes, you definitely need food and you need drink. And it's really important to make sure you have enough for all the people that are coming, because you don't want people coming and say, oh, they're out of food. Oh, they're out of punch. And then they leave with a sad feeling like they were not valued. And especially in Jesus' day, when a family threw a party, it brought up their honor. And you wouldn't want anyone to think, oh, this family really doesn't have it together. It brings shame and low self-esteem on the whole family, not just the person being celebrated. So it's really amazing what Jesus does, because when it comes to the time where, unfortunately, the party runs out of wine, Jesus' mother, Mary, says, Jesus, they're out of wine. And he's like, Mom, what do I care about that? That's not my problem. I'm not throwing this party. But after he kind of questions her a little bit, and then he hears his mom say, bartenders, just do whatever you tell him to do. Whatever he tells you to do. Then he leads them through these specific steps that end up turning the water into the wine, being sure that everyone at the party has enough to drink and to eat, and that the celebration can go on and on. This is Jesus' first miracle in the Gospel of John. So what can we learn from this story? At least three things. Number one, Jesus listens to his mother. We all have parents or guardians that are caring for us. And yes, Jesus pushes back a little bit at the beginning, but once he gets over his initial confusion and maybe a little stubbornness, he says, okay, fine, Mom, I'll do it. So let that be a reminder to all of us to listen to our mothers and fathers and caregivers. We remember that the fourth commandment is to honor your father and your mother, and Jesus does that in this story. Number two, Jesus blesses our celebrations. It's important to celebrate in life because life can get really hard. And I know during COVID, parties are super tricky, but it's still important to celebrate, and we do look forward to the times when we can celebrate all together more and more. How do you like to celebrate? What are your favorite ways to throw parties? And number three, abundance. John chapter 10, verse 10 says from Jesus, I have come that you may have life and have it more abundantly. And the guests, instead of running out of wine, they end up having more wine than they can even drink. And so that shows that Jesus comes in grace to the rescue, to save the family from shame, to save the guests from running out of beverages, and most importantly, it's a foretaste of Jesus pouring out his life on the cross, pouring out his resurrection hope in coming back alive on the third day. And of course, in church, we take a little bit of bread, a little bit of wine each Sunday, which becomes the God's living presence in the person of Jesus and Holy Communion, to remind us that God is always with us and will give us abundantly more than we can ever ask or imagine. So let it be so with us, remembering that Jesus comes to the rescue at weddings in first century Palestine and in our lives. Amen.